This is a personal experience podcast, but the personal experience that exists is just my own personal experience. And that's how I like it. Welcome back to Midwest Midcard, to episode 83. Oh my gosh. I know that I haven't been doing this show solo for a while, but getting to 83 is pretty crazy. I mean, that's almost 100. Welcome back to another episode. This was I don't know. It feels like that last episode was forever ago, and I'm very thankful for the amount of views that we have on YouTube. I don't know why the algorithm was showing people this podcast episode, but hopefully some of the people that came across it, some of the people that saw it enjoyed it, because I mean, I had a good time doing it. Let's get straight into the yapping, the regular Midwest Midcard, Air Carlos, Midcard, Midcard, whatever you want to call it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. This past Saturday, like I mentioned on the last episode, I didn't really hype it up as much as I'm gonna be, because I have a lot to say about this. But I had an opportunity to go to my 5th GCW show. This was at the Valleydale Ballroom in Columbus, Ohio. It's about an hour and 30-minute drive for me. The name of the event was GCW Thank Me Later. This was, I've been to this venue. I'm a big fan of it, and I'm gonna throw some pictures on the screen right there. I'm actually like a pretty big fan of this venue. It's very much not meant for wrestling, and that's the best part of it. It has this nice balcony area, I guess you could say. And then it has like chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. So it's very like, if you see it, you're like, well, yeah, there's not supposed to be a wrestling ring here. They typically set it up in the middle of the dance floor. It's very, very clearly a wedding venue. I like it. I think it's cool. It's like a cool home for GCW in Columbus. And if somebody sees this, they can quote me on this as me being wrong, but their first Columbus show was at the fairgrounds, if I'm not mistaken. I took a friend with me there. He told me they had like rodeos and shit at this venue. This was just like a little, I'd say big and I say little. It was like a warehouse, Maybe I'll throw a clip of that on there too. But it was just like a big warehouse place or whatever. That was cool. The place was pretty packed, so that was fun. But then ever since, they've been doing them at this Valleydale Ballroom. So I've been to 3 shows at Valleydale Ballroom. So 3 out of my 5 shows have been at this same venue, and like I said, I like it. I'm familiar with it now. It's cool. It's cool going there, going up the stairs and then going right back down, because it's like, as you go in, you have to go up the stairs, go into like that high area, and then go down these stairs. They had a full bar, It was kind of nuts, because my boy and I, shout out Ulysses. I know that you're, of course, watching or listening to this, so shout out to him. We were just kind of talking, and I was like, yeah, I got this bottle of tequila for Christmas. I'm probably not going to drink it. I haven't been really drinking much, so it's just going to sit there forever. But I've been wanting to make like margaritas or something, And he's like, yeah, I've been drinking like whiskey sours. I like those. And I was like, okay, just some fucking old fucking man conversation, as you know. And he once we got there, and I was like, oh my god, there's like this is like a full bar. I just got a Modelo, he got a whiskey sour. But it was just funny that he had that. The show itself was pretty cool. I had fun with most of the matches. On my on my sheet where I rate matches. I overrated the shit out of these matches, but it's okay. I'm sure that if I watched them on, on streaming, I probably wouldn't feel the same way that I do about them because I was there live, but I was excited. I wanted to highlight some of these. Specifically, the first match was the classic GCW Scramble Gauntlet match. They typically have these in the middle of the show, but this one opened, and I was hyped because it's just a good way to open the show, in my opinion. If it's not a tag team match or like a 3-on-3 or something crazy like that, a multi-man match to open a show, it's a surefire way to start, I guess. I wish I had all the participants, but really it's more about the guy that actually won the match. Everyone came out. I remember Teriyaki. That's one that kind of stuck with me. There's a one dude that I've seen before. He's like Ninja, and I'm sorry that I'm forgetting your names right now. I really truly apologize. I only noticed one person, which was Griffin McCoy. So I've actually seen this guy on Twitter. I think he had a dog collar match with Jordan Oliver. Jordan Oliver is the guy that I've seen on GCW a couple times, and I'm pretty big on him. I think he might be hurt right now, or I don't know. I just haven't seen him recently, just like wrestling and stuff. But he had that dog collar match with Griffin McCoy, and I saw Griffin, and I was like, he looks very like he just doesn't look like the type of wrestler to have this like violent ass match. He very much looked like has his like old school build, and he's got like a little mustache, like a shitty little like Miles Teller in Top Gun mustache, and he came out and he had heat, and everyone was booing him. So I just started shitting on him. I was like, I was also booing him, but in the match, he's the one that stuck out to me, man. He's a fucking hooper. Like he can go. I don't know, man. I've been sleeping on this guy because he's pretty fucking awesome. I'm sad that I didn't get to get a picture with him because I saw him later in the show. I saw him like, getting a drink, and I just didn't want to bother him. At that time, that was not my time. That was his time. So I was just like, I'm just going to leave him alone. But Griffin McCoy, if you're watching this, you rule, man. I'm sorry. I mean, if I go to a show, I'm going to boo you because, I have to. But just know that in the back of my head, I'm like, this guy rules, He showed up, man. He's cool. The other match that really stuck out to me. Well, so they had a little storyline progression on the show, which is cool. So Ali Catch and Effie are set to face this Sunday at their Hammerstein show, The People versus GCW. I think that's what it's called. Live on Fight TV, plug in the show. Brett Lauderdale, make sure you send me my check. So they are, they're running that storyline. And Ali was supposed to face Zeta Steele. I think that's her name. She's one of the WWE ID people. And I've never seen her, but a ton of like my mutuals on Twitter are like big on her. And I don't know if they're big on her because she's like a attractive girl or because she's actually like a good wrestler or like a good promo or whatever. So I know nothing of her, but I was hyped to see her because I was like, okay, some people are like big on her, so let's see what happens. And she actually didn't show up, and I don't know what happened. I don't care about what happened with her, why she wasn't there. She wasn't there. That's what it is. And Marcus Mathers, another WWE ID talent, actually subbed in for her. And I love Marcus. I've seen him a few times. He's my boy. Shout out Ryan Radix. I've known for a long time at this, probably like 10 years now. And Ryan is boys with Marcus. Ryan's worked a ton of shows that I think are, either promoted by Marcus. I just know they're like Marcus Mathers presents whatever. And Marcus was there, but Ali just obliterated him. She like fucked him up. And that was the story. She gave him like 3 pile drivers, which, by the way, pile driver heavy show, but every time they hit one, it made a fucking difference. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to hit a bunch of pile drivers. Like, if you got hit with one, you're not getting back up, buddy. But she did hit, I think she hit one on Marcus, and she was going to pin him, and that was it. Like, he was not going to get up, but she lifted his arm, and then she just kept at it with him. She was clearly trying to send a message to Effie and Mance Warner also, which I don't know if I clarified that the match between Ali and Effie is to face Mance Warner for the GCW World Championship in the main event. So that's the whole thing. So that match stuck out to me. Honestly, a couple of these stuck out to me. Myron Reed versus Zachary Wentz. Pretty awesome. That was a fun match. We were quiet for it, but it wasn't because we didn't like it. It was more because we were like trying to like appreciate it almost. There was a guy that was just like losing his shit behind me, wearing like a Sin Cara mask that was like signed. He might be like a fan that shows up to wrestling shows or whatever. I've never seen him before, but he was just like he was just like screaming, man. He was going crazy. I mean, I love it. But Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, that was cool. Gringo Loco and Super Crazy versus the Rejects. That was pretty fucking fun. That was great, man. Give it a high ass rating of 4 stars because Super Crazy did a fucking a moonsault. It was crazy, man. It was wild actually. And Gringo Loco he's always great. That was a cool match. Joey Janela versus Rhino. Incredible, man. It wasn't this like crazy like technical masterpiece, but it was a fight. There was some doors involved, some chairs. Rhino hit the gore on Joey Janela through a door, and Joey Janela won by doing a double foot stomp onto Rhino that had like a chair on him. That was pretty dope. On the TV footage, shout out to my boy Pucky from Off the Rope, the one that makes the shirts, man, that I've worn sometimes. He was like in the vid, like if you watch the streaming version, whenever Rhino's going to like get a door, like you can see him like, off to the side a little bit, you can see the fucking the purple like Raptors like warm up that he wears. It was pretty dope. I got to see him there at the show. That was cool. Talking to him for a little bit. Matt Cardona had an open challenge versus Aaron Williams is the one that showed up. Aaron Williams, I'm pretty familiar with. Seen him at like 4 different shows. He's like a local guy as far as I know. Has a tag team with this guy, Lord Crew. Cincinnati's Most Wanted. Guy that I'm big on. He's very big on just being independent, unsigned, don't care. That's his motto. He's great, man. I like Aaron Williams. On the co-main, it was Cyclope, Too Tough Tony, and Drew Parker versus Broski, Jimmy Lloyd, and the Pillars. The big spot of this match was that Too Tough had a bottle of Bacardi with him, and he was giving the people shots, in the first row. At some point, he like put the Bacardi on his hand, and he had a lighter, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? Well, and you know what? I actually didn't see him put the Bacardi on his, like, pour it on his hand. So I just saw him with a lighter, and I was like, what is he about to, like, light up? Or, like, what's going on, man? Because I was so fucking confused. I was like, what's going on? He lights his hand on fire, and then he gets one of the guys from the Pillars, and the dude, he had a beard, it like caught him on the face, so I could see the flame on his head, and I'm just like losing my shit. I'm speechless. I don't know how to react to this. And Too Tough is going like this, like trying to get it off, and the ref is trying to help him. It was such a mess, man, but it was cool. I was just like, I think that the reaction was kind of like non-existent because I mean, I looked at the other people in the crowd. And we were all like, "What the?" Like, we were all like, what the hell is going on?" Like, it was pretty crazy, man. And the main event, I was not a fan of. You know, I'm gonna be honest. It started as a can they coexist type match. It was going to be Effie and Mance Warner versus Violence is Forever. And, you know, as a fan of VIF, I was like, great, let's see what happens. As the match got going, Mance kind of refused to be Effie's partner. He just kept attacking him, and Dominic and Kevin were like, what the hell's going on here? They were like a little confused, but Mance was just like, you know, just get him. And they started just like helping Mance Warner, you know, maybe a little bit of a heel turn there. They are set to face the Garbage Daddies, which is Alec Price and Cole Radrick. They actually had like a match, like a number one contender match earlier in that show, which I skipped over. I guess Colin Delaney and Cheech. And so they won that match. So they had enough of Effie being attacked. So they came out. So then it was Effie and the Garbage Daddies versus Mance Warner, Violence is Forever, 3-on-3. Match was kind of brief. Again, a lot of shenanigans, which I'm okay with. I wanted to see Violence is Forever. I just like watching their matches. So again, a little bit disappointed in that, but it wasn't my first time seeing them. So, and I got to see the entrance. You know, I got to sing "Zombie" by the Cranberries. So I was fine with that. But backtracking a little bit, let me take a little drink before I tell the story. When I first got there, I did my little rounds around the merch tables. I went to see the, Unsanctioned Pro had like a table, and then GCW was running their regular merch, you know, GCW stuff. And then I wanted to get I got this shirt that I'm wearing. So if you're on the video, you can see it. It's this here. This new it's a Violence is Forever shirt, man, and it doubles as it's a good Bengals shirt. So even if they're not Bengals fans, like I doubt it. I think it's orange. I don't know if they started wearing orange because of DPW, but now it's just like synonymous with them. So I like that. So I was doing my rounds. I saw there was a table with Megan Bain and Joey Janela. Megan Bain, I mean, she's a beautiful girl, and I get super starstruck when I meet people, so I just act a fool, and I didn't really say anything to her. I was just like, "Hello," and I was just like, TV doesn't do her justice. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, she's a beautiful girl, and I didn't even say anything to Joey because I was just lost in Megan Bain, and Kevin Q or Kevin Koo or whatever. I'm sorry. And Dominic Garini from Violence is Forever were on their own table. So I grabbed my shirt. Well, I said, "Do you have this shirt in extra large?" They said, "Yes, we got it." And I said, "Hey, can I grab a picture?" Grab the picture with them. My second picture with them, like a fucking loser. And Matt Cardona was right next to them. And I was looking at his stuff. He had a couple figures. He had a bunch of like 8x10s, and he had like, I think like foam fingers and these pins, which I ended up buying one of these pins. It's really awesome, and the best part is that it's magnetic, so you don't have to poke yourself to put this on. And I was I told my friend, I was like, this guy right here, he's the man when it comes to like action figures. And Matt was just like, yeah, I tried to be, very humble, very nice to be. And then I knew he charged for pictures, so I went ahead and asked, and I said, do you do pictures? And he's like, yeah, they're $40. He said, premium price. And I was like, that's a little steep, man. And I said, no, but I respect it. You know, I get it. And I just kind of went on my way after that. But Matt Cardona, if you're for some reason watching or listening to this, I want to just formally apologize to you. I'm sorry if I was an asshole to you. I really do. Like, I'm sorry. It's not that your picture was expensive. It's really not. It was, you know, it is a price for sure. It's not that it's, you know, it's not that it's expensive at all. It's just that I had already spent money on other stuff. So I was like, I just can't push myself to do that. But I really, truly do, you know, I really am sorry. And I hope that our non-existent relationship is not, you know, affected by this. I hope that, you know, next time I'm going to make it up to you, man. Next time I go to a show, I'm going to get that picture when I'm actually like prepared to spend the money. I just wasn't, man. I'm sorry. I just wasn't. And I really apologize. But, you know, I have to confess, I was a big fan of Matt whenever he was in WWE. Whoever's listening, watching this, may remember whenever True Long Island Story was around, he used to do a Broski of the Week. The first Broski of the Week actually is CM Punk. Little history lesson right there. And I actually, you know, once it became like a submission thing where fans could just make a Broski video, I submitted one to be the Broski of the Week. I never got picked, of course. And then I submitted it again whenever he made it so that the submission had to be a minute or shorter. So I submitted 2 videos. And I was very big on Zack Ryder in the WWE when I used to make videos when I was younger. I was super hyped for, you know, when Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Zack Ryder were like all champions, and they all came down from the crowd. It felt like a different time, like something new was happening, and I was like such a fan. Like many, I was such a fan of Zack Ryder. He, you know, Zack Ryder deserves his flowers. You know, he is a very impactful character in the short stint he had. I would say on the top, essentially. Listen, as far as getting yourself over, he got himself over. He did, you know, the unthinkable kind of. He kind of pioneered this like internet wrestling show thing. In a way, if you want to look at it this way, the True Long Island Story existed so that being the elite could exist, so that AEW could exist, so that CM Punk could come back to wrestling, so that Jack Perry could be the scapegoat. So in a way, Zack Ryder created Jack Perry, the scapegoat. So take that with a grain of salt. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But yeah, I do think that in a way, maybe Zack Ryder made it so that AEW exists. So who knows? Speaking of Matt Cardona, I feel worse about being such a fucking asshole because I listened to this interview with Ariel Helwani, and Matt came off as like such a cool guy. He put a lot of emphasis on him being a fan. He was a fan first and then a wrestler second. So a lot of times he felt like he could like relate to the people that come up to him like me that are assholes and say that his price is too high. So he could relate to that, I'm sure. But it was just cool to hear him talk about like how you know, how he's doing, how the indies are, how sometimes it feels like he's on top of the world, and then sometimes he's in like a raggedy ass place, and he's like, "What the fuck am I doing?" You know, and how he, you know, how he's not like really like upset with Chelsea Green, his wife, being like a WWE champion in WWE while he's over here like doing his thing. There's no jealousy or anything. Clearly very proud of his significant other, which is very, very cool. And he teased a Royal Rumble appearance. I think it would be cool if it happened, since I'm gonna be there. I mean, if I don't know in what capacity, if it would be the always ready, or if it would be the oh radio, tell me everything you know. If that came on, that might get a pop out of me. I'm just saying that would be pretty crazy. I would be very, very excited for that. And I mean, Matt, he looks great, man. He's in good shape still. He's a pretty good wrestler in my opinion. He's capable of having good matches. There's some pre-built story with some people in WWE, so there's some things you could do with him. I'm not opposed to him coming back. I'm surprised AEW has not hired him, which they also mentioned in the interview. It beats the shit out of me, man. It's honestly kind of, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It just seems like he seems like the easiest, like a layup for AEW. So I don't know, man. But man, shout out to Matt Cardona. He's pretty great. I saw, one Twitter user giving him like hate, being like, "Oh, you were never a big star, or whatever." Shut the fuck up. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Matt Cardona, he is him, man. I mean, he did it on his own. He's doing it right now. You need to put some fucking respect on his name. Moving on to other things outside of wrestling. Last week was the Challenge 40 Battle of the Seasons, the season finale. Well, it was like the finale, like when they run the final, it is a 2-episode deal typically. So this was the case on this, but so essentially the finale worked like this. There was a boat, and then they had like 8 checkpoints they had to do, and they had to swim from there to the checkpoint every time. And the checkpoints were far away. There was a lot of fucking swimming. Which this one dude, Kyland, he's from Big Brother. He made it to the final, but he was not ready for the swimming, man. He was not prepared at all for the swimming. So it was pretty tough for him. But one of the checkpoints, which was in between the 2 nights that they were at the boat, was what they had to do. They had a big bag of coins, and they had to count the coins by hand and put them in this chest. But every 30 minutes, they would have to go up to the deck, and they would have to sing the song. I'm not remembering it now, but it was like, I don't know what the song was. It was just like a classic song or something like that. So they had to sing it, and they couldn't stop singing it for 30 minutes and then go back to count again. Maybe it was every hour. I don't remember. I just know they had to sing for 30 minutes. So they had to do that. And at some point, so there's this guy, Jordan, and then there's Derek, and Jenny was one of the girls there, and she was counting, and she was like extremely frustrated. She was just pissed that she has to count, and she's like complaining. She's like, "Oh, this sucks," and whatever. She's just like so upset, and Jordan is also pretty upset because they're all like sleepless. They've been doing this all night, and he's like, "Stop. Shut up." He's just like screaming at her because she's just like going off about this. And he's like, "We all have to count." And I don't know. It was just a funny exchange. I guess you had to be there. They did by the end of it, the winners, spoiler alert, sorry for if you want, skip like ahead a little bit and you won't know the winners. But if you don't care about spoilers, Jordan and Rachel and Jenny ended up getting first place. Actually, Rachel and Jenny tied for first place thanks to the karma vote. Derek Bananas, Kyland got second, third, and fourth place. And then Michelle and Tori got third and fourth place. Michelle, man, she came through. She beat Tori. I mean, I know she got third place, but she got some of the money. And yeah, I mean, she came back kind of like an unlikely finalist, but good on you, Michelle. I mean, great showing for Derek and Michelle. Derek got second place, man, and someone that everyone just kind of, wrote off. Derek, he second place. That's pretty fucking good, man. That was pretty great. So, congratulations to everyone. Jordan, definitely, he's at some point, he's just one of the GOATs, man. He just is. He said he was coming back, which I'm glad, because during the season he was like, well, I just want to be a rally car driver, like an F1 driver, and but I'm glad that he wants to come back because the show needs him, man. He's pretty great. Other than that, I also been enjoying the Traitors. For those that are not familiar with the Traitors, this is season 3 of the show. It is in a way like a role-playing game. The participants are a lot of people from different reality shows that will come in, and they have to, again, role play. There are like 3 or 4 different traitors in the house. The objective of the game is for everyone in the house to weed them out, essentially, and vote them off every day. So to get to the point where you have to vote them off, first you have to go through their daily challenge, which is some sort of game that they have to do. They can win shields to protect themselves, and with that, they can protect themselves from being murdered, because the traitors will choose to murder one person, during the night. So when everyone wakes up, they're like, oh my God, this person's missing. Well, that was somebody that the traitors killed. So at that point, they can try to figure out who the traitors are. And when they vote, that's what they do. They try to vote out the traitors. My girl, Nikki Garcia, she's part of it. I'm excited that she's there. Wes from the challenge actually is he showed up in episode 2. That got a big pop out of me. Honestly, I had no idea he was there, and he showed up, and I was like, holy shit, that's Wes. Boston Rob, I know him from, he's from Survivor, but I've never seen Survivor. But he showed up on Deal or No Deal Island, and I have seen that, so it was cool. It's cool to see Rob because he's like a conniving guy, so he fits that. But on this, so this is not really a spoiler; it's just part of the show. The traitors are Boston Rob, Danielle. She's one of the house. I think she might be one of the housewives. There's Bob the drag queen, and then Carolyn. They are the traitors. Danielle is just like insane. She's always crying. I think people are kind of onto her, and they're kind of onto Bob too because he does too much. So they kind of already are figuring it out. I think they're getting close. I'm gonna have to watch more and just see what happens. But I think they're getting pretty close to finding them out. At least them two. But this last episode, they had to vote somebody off, of course. And there's Tony. Tony is from Survivor, also known as a conniving guy. And they voted him off. Sorry, spoiler alert. Again, I'm sorry if I spoiled the show for you, but they voted him off. And he was like upset, man. Whenever he got up to, before you leave after they vote you off from this like round table, you like get up and you stand on a thing and you're like, I'm not a traitor, or I am a traitor. He went up there and he looked like they fucking killed his dog. He was so sad. As he was getting voted off, he was so fucking sad. He goes up there and he's like, I'm not a traitor, and he's just so fucking upset. It was like it's like making me tear up right now thinking about it. So, justice for Tony, man. I'm sorry, Tony, that happened to you. But I mean, to be fair, episode 1, he's like, I want to be a traitor. I want to be a traitor. And now he's not a traitor and he gets voted off. And he's like, guys, you guys are going to vote me off? I'm not a traitor. I mean, he wasn't, but it's just funny. So that's a pretty good show, man. I highly recommend The Traitors. If you're, I don't know when, I think I was thinking about this because when I was like getting like my stuff together for this show, I was like, man, like Nikki Bella, she's like, I don't know if she's what, like, not specifically her, but like Total Divas is probably one of like the things that made me kind of like jump back into reality TV. I mean, I was a fan of that, but then previous to that, I was already a fan of Miz, so I was kind of already looking into the Real World and stuff like that. I watched like a season of the Real World when they still had it, and then Total Bellas, Total Divas, Miss and Mrs. I do like Kardashian shit like that. I like I used to watch the Bad Girls Club, Little Women Atlanta, type shit. So I was watching everything, but thinking a big influence on that was, Total Divas, man. So Nikki being in The Traitors now, it's kind of fitting. I hope she makes it far. She hasn't really done much. It seems like she has like a core group of like 2 friends that she's like hanging out with on The Traitors, but who the hell knows, man? Who the hell knows? But I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We're gonna leave it there. Short little episode, man. Nothing crazy, but just a couple things I wanted to get off my chest. I hope that if you watched this and you enjoyed it, that you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, please. I'm sure that helps somehow. I don't know how. Leave a comment on the video or on Spotify. Tell me what you liked. If you liked anything, if you didn't like it, then whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, so we're gonna leave it there. Like I said, make sure that you follow me on social medias at Midcard. TikTok, hopefully it doesn't go away, but TikToks, they're there if you like them. So yeah. Again, I'll leave it right there. I'll see you all next week.